You ever really think about how that thing you just bought got to you? I mean, from a factory, somewhere on the other side of the planet, all the way to your hands. It's not magic, not at all. It's a super complex, carefully planned strategy called market access. So today, let's pull back the curtain on the art and science of getting products to people. And it all starts with a simple question. Why is it that you can find a can of soda literally anywhere you look, but to buy a high-end luxury watch, you might have to go to a specific store in a specific city? That's not a coincidence, you know. It is a very deliberate, strategic choice.
And this contrast right here says it all. You've got Coca-Cola on one side, which is all about massive distribution. They want to be within arm's reach of desire everywhere. And then you have Rolex, which thrives on exclusive distribution, on scarcity. The path a brand chooses is a massive part of its identity.
So, for any company that's starting out, or even an established one, the first huge decision they have to make is really fundamental. Do we try to do this all by ourselves, or do we team up with some partners?
This is that first critical fork in the road. Are you going to sell directly to your customers, through your own website or your own stores? Or are you going to use intermediaries? We're talking wholesalers, retailers, distributors. This one choice basically sets the stage for the entire journey of that product.
Okay, so let's say you decide to go with intermediaries. Well, now you've got to design your distribution channel. And really, the whole architecture of it just boils down to two key things. Its length and its breadth.
Channel length is pretty straightforward. It's basically how many middlemen stand between the factory and you, the customer. And channel breadth, well, that's all about how many stores will actually have the product. Are we talking about one exclusive boutique in a city, or are we talking thousands of corner stores?
Yep, and this visual here breaks down channel length perfectly. See that zero-level channel? That means the company sells directly to you, no one in between. But then you can add a retailer, that's one level, or add a wholesaler who sells to the retailer, that's another level. Each step adds complexity, for sure, but it can also blow up your reach in a huge way.
All right, so we've got length down. Now let's talk about breadth, or what some people call intensity. Just how widely available should your product be? This is a huge strategic decision, and it usually falls into one of three main paths.
First up, we've got exclusive distribution. I like to call this the velvet rope of market access. The whole point isn't to be everywhere, it's to be somewhere special. By making your product hard to get, you build this aura of prestige, and you keep total control of your brand's image.
With this strategy, it is all about the experience. It demands incredible customer service, amazing support after the sale, and it gives the brand complete control over how it's presented and what it costs. Just think about Rolex again. You don't just go buy a Rolex. You go to an authorized dealer, and they guide you through this whole luxury experience.
Next, you've got selective distribution, which is kind of the Goldilocks option, the middle ground. It's not in every single store, but it's not just in one either. This is really perfect for products where the in-store experience is important and customers will actually go looking for it, but you still want to reach a decent number of people.
And let me tell you, trying to switch between these strategies is incredibly risky. Take Tiffany & Co. They tried to go from their selective model to something more massive, and it totally backfired. Their loyal core customers felt like the brand lost that special, intimate feeling. So what did they have to do? They had to literally create a whole new, separate brand to chase that wider market so they wouldn't damage the original. And finally, we get to massive distribution. Here, the goal is simple. Be everywhere, all the time. This whole strategy is built on one thing: convenience. You want to make sure your customers can find your product with almost zero effort.
Yep, this is the world of stuff we buy all the time. Sodas, snacks, candy. To pull this off, a company needs a gigantic sales team, really deep pockets, and absolutely perfect inventory management. I mean, think about Coca-Cola. You can find it in a massive supermarket, a tiny little kiosk, or a vending machine in the middle of nowhere.
So you'd think choosing your strategy and building your channel is the hard part, right? Well, that's just the start. Now comes the really hard part, managing it day in and day out. Because when you have a whole network of partners, you get a whole new set of challenges.
And this right here, this is the daily reality. It's a constant balancing act. You're always juggling how much control you want versus what your partners need. You're trying to head off conflicts, making sure your partners can actually do what you need them to do, and maybe most importantly, making sure everyone is actually making some money.
Let's be honest, most fights in the business world come down to one thing: money. It's no different here. A healthy partnership absolutely requires that everyone is profitable. And that means you have to build in a healthy profit margin for your wholesalers and your retailers. If they're not making money selling your product, that partnership is just not going to last.
Okay, so you've got this whole system built, but how do you know if it's actually working? Well, you measure it, you track its performance, and two really key ideas here are coverage and how you generate demand.
Now, this is a super important difference. Physical coverage just tells you what percentage of stores carry your product. But weighted coverage is way smarter. It asks a better question. Of all the money being spent in this category, what percentage of it is spent in the stores that carry our product? See, being in 80% of stores sounds awesome, but if those stores only make up 20% of total sales, you're in the wrong places. The goal is to be where the money is actually being spent.
So you're in the right stores. Great. Now, how do you get people to actually buy your stuff? This brings us to a classic idea in marketing, the dynamic of push versus pull.
Think of it like this. A push strategy is where you basically pay your channel, the retailers, the wholesalers, to push the product onto customers. A pull strategy is the opposite. You market directly to customers with ads and create so much desire that they go into the stores and pull the product off the shelves by asking for it. Honestly, the best strategies usually use a little bit of both. So as we wrap this up, it's pretty clear that market access is so much more than just logistics and moving boxes around. How a customer gets your product, where they find it, what that experience is like, is a core part of your brand's identity and the promise you make to them.
And that kind of leaves us with a huge final question for today's world. I mean, with all the direct-to-consumer websites, global marketplaces, and social media selling, who really owns the path to the customer anymore? Is it the brand, the platform, the influencer they follow? The game is definitely changing, and the answer isn't so clear.